Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. Don't forget to make yourself a cup of tea or coffee if you want, because today we have very interesting stories, and one of them is a story about a woman who calls the police because she thinks OP stole his car. Please subscribe if you haven't and I hope you'll enjoy it. At the gym that my family used to go to, there was a decent sized pool area with a hot tub in the corner. Every few days they would have family swim, where, as the name implies, you can bring your children and just play around in the pool. No lanes are allowed to be up during this time, and this is the only time that a lifeguard is actually present in the pool area. The rules were pretty standard for early 2000s and include any child under 15 had to be accompanied by an adult in the pool area. But, as you can guess, there was an issue of parents just dumping little Johnny and Susie off at the pool so they could go to the gym section without having to worry about them for an hour or so. Family swim was always busy and all the kids usually played together in the pool while the adults sat in the hot tub where they could watch their kids and chill, so for the most part, no one really noticed or could tell when there was a kid without a guardian in the pool area. So my older brother, me, and about 6 other kids were in the pool and were playing with the water diver toys that sink to the bottom of the pool, so you dive to grab them. Having a blast, we threw them all in the deep side and, almost like a game of jacks, would see who could dive and collect the most before needing to come up for air. Well, it was entitled Kid's turn to collect, so we threw them all and he dived down to grab it. While he was down, an old man slipped on the tiled floor that surrounded the pool and hit his head very hard on the ground. If you've ever heard the cracking of a skull, it's not a sound that goes unnoticed, even in a loud pool area. Immediately, the lifeguard and the parents are yelling for the kids to get out of the pool now. Entitled Kid comes up for air and, having not seen or heard the old man fall, doesn't listen to the lifeguard or the other parents yelling for us to get out of the pool. My brother grabs me and pushes me over the edge of the pool onto the tiles, and I see that there is blood underneath the unconscious man's head and seeping into the little vent things that allow water on the tiles to get back into the pool. My brother pushes himself out of the water, and by this time almost all the kids had been grabbed at the edge of the pool or had gotten out using the stairs. Except EK. His parents aren't there, so the only one yelling at him to get out of the pool is the 17-year-old lifeguard. The kid ignores him and continues diving for the toys, so the lifeguard jumps into the pool and wrestles this kid out of the water, all the while EK is screaming and kicking. The lifeguard manages it, and at this point other staff members of the gym had rushed into the pool area to help with the old man. My mom and dad rushed my brother and I off to the locker rooms to wash ourselves off, shampoo our hair, and get into clean clothes, so I didn't see what happened to the old man. When my mom and I were done in the locker room, we headed to the reception desk to sign out, and we see a young couple with sobbing EK in hand yelling at the poor lifeguard about not helping their kid out of the pool faster, that the lifeguard was at fault for the old man slipping somehow, that he was incompetent, and how he was at fault if their kid got sick. Another staff member is there trying to figure out the situation, and the staff member turns to the lifeguard and says, "Did you see these guests in the pool area with their son?" And the lifeguard replies, "No." So the staff member turns back to the parents and says something like, "You didn't follow our gym rules, and therefore it was you that endangered your child, and not my lifeguard. You are no longer welcome at this gym. Please gather your things right now and turn in your membership cards on your way out, or I will call the cops." We left before I heard the rest of that convo, but we could hear the entitled dad yelling from the parking lot. My parents spent the whole ride home bashing these awful parents and saying stuff like, how can people leave their kid in a pool with strangers like that? It was kinda traumatizing. I've seen people injured but not unconscious before. I don't know what happened to the old man. I never saw him again. I do hope he was okay though. I guess I would call CPS. And the lifeguard did his job right. He yelled to get everyone out of the pool and checked on the old man before he went in to grab the entitled kid who should have gotten out when he noticed everyone else getting out. My semi-adopted sister, more on that later, was actually left alone and abandoned in a stranger city, and not just any city, the freaking capital of India, Delhi. I'm disgusted by EA. So yeah, let's get to the story. This is gonna be a wild one. Cast. Also, I was barely involved. My semi-adopted sister, note she and her family don't make that much money. EA. Entitled Aunt of SNM. Nice man. NW. Nice woman and NM's wife. The story. This happened around I'd say 7 or 8 years ago. So EA tells S's family that she is taking all of her nieces and nephews, they were just 3 other ones except S, to see the capital of the country. EA has been saving money for about a year to get the money, no big deal, right? Wrong. She took all of them just because S would get jealous and beg to come with her. S, EA, and everyone else hopped on the train and went for the capital. When they reached, EA said they were going to see the India Gate. Okay, they went and S got separated. Oops. Well, S found out a couple of hours later from a pandit, the preacher equivalent of Hinduism, that they had left. They had abandoned her on purpose. Hearing this, S started to have a panic attack and a breakdown. This is where NM and NW shine. They asked S her name and started consoling her. Now, if you don't live in India or haven't had a chance to go to a temple, they are packed with people, like the kind of crowd where someone is distributing free PS5s. NM and NW take S to their home and cared for her like she was their child. Lucky, might you think? Well, after 3 years, S's family finally got in contact, I don't know how, with S and told how they were worried about her. S broke down again, but this time because of happiness. So NM and NW bought S a new phone, just to be able to keep in contact with her family and go back home. NM and NW cried a lot, but eventually let go and dropped her off at the station. She took the ride home to where my family lived. Again, lucky. But just wait. At the time I was about 8 to 9 years old and both my parents were working. So I would just sit home alone. Eventually, my dad thought of getting a babysitter. And what timing. My uncle is sent off to find a babysitter. And well, can you guess what happens next? Yep, my uncle finds S and recommends her to my parents. Then S's parents are called and asked whether they will be okay if S stays with them. They agreed as long as S would visit them about annually. Now note, at the time of the incident, she was in 5th grade and for 3 years her studies were delayed. Now S lives with us and cares for us and we care for her. My dad got her enrolled in a school. Now wouldn't you want to hear about what happened to EA? Well, to say the least, nothing happened. Apart from about 6 months of jail, she experienced nothing. When S visited her family on Christmas, they are Christians, EA didn't even apologize. Well, S would never talk to her and never given her any gifts. She finally apologized in her last visit. Wow, S is lucky to have run into such nice people. I wish EA got more than 6 months, it seems like this would have been way more severe than a 6-month sentence. First of all, I drive a red 2005 BMW 3 Series. Nothing too fancy, but I really like my car and I'm kinda proud of it because I'm only 22, looking a lot younger, relevant for the story, and bought it with my own money. Why do I tell you that? Well, flexing, of course. And it's the central point of the story that happened to me today. Well, enough preamble, let's go. The cast of my story. EM. Entitled Mom. BS. Embarrassed Son. FC. Friendly Cop. Me. Well, have a wild guess. So this happened today at my local Burger King. I live in a small village and we don't have a Burger King, so I have to drive to the next town if I want to eat there. Today's afternoon I felt like going there, so I hopped in the car and got onto the Autobahn. A couple of minutes later I leave the Autobahn and enter the parking lot of said Burger King. I leave my car, walk into the store and place my order. After a short while I get my food and leave the shop. I take the car key out of my pocket, walk towards my car and press the unlock button. Well, I open the door and put my bag behind the driver's seat. EM enters the scene. As I put the seat back into normal position to get ready to leave, she suddenly shows up behind me. That's not your car. Who did you steal it from? I'm sorry, ma'am, how can I help you? That car does not belong to you. Who did you steal it from? Tell me so I can tell the police. Ma'am, this car is mine. I bought it myself with the money I earned at my job. You're lying. You aren't old enough to have a job where you get paid well enough to own a car like this. Actually, I don't even think you're old enough to drive a car. Ma'am, I own this car and I'm 22. I have my license for more than 4 years now, so I'm very much allowed to drive a car. No, you aren't. You look like you're 16. I will call the cops on you. Fine. Do it. They can come over and check. I own this car and I have a license. I got my license, saved my money and bought the car when I had enough. I worked hard for it. No, you haven't. Nobody your age has enough money for a car like this. My son is 18, so he's older than you are. He is working at this store. She points at the Burger King where I ordered my food after school since he is 16 and he hasn't got enough money to buy such a car. Why should you have it when you're younger than him? Listen lady. I've worked in IT since I was 18. I'm a trained IT specialist and I work about 40 hours per week. I don't want to sound bad, but I think I earn a little more money than someone who works part-time at a fast food place. If you work 40 hours per week, then why are you here in the middle of the day? Because I have vacations, for Christ's sake. And I'm hungry, so I took my car to get some food. This isn't your car. Stop lying. I bet you're an unemployed dropout who stole someone's fancy car and now you're here to pose with it. I'm calling the cops right now. EM takes her phone out of her purse and starts to call the police. After she started the call, ES leaves the store through the front door and looks at me, standing in my open car door, and his mom, talking on the phone. Excuse me, that my mom right there. Is everything alright? Is she calling someone for you? Not to be rude, but is it possible that your mom is a little dumb? She kept accusing me of stealing my car and now she calls the police. I'm not dumb, you little freak. Watch your language. I'm sorry. She can be a little difficult sometimes. Looking at his mom, thanks for picking me up, mom. Let's go. No. We will wait for the police to arrive here. Mom, please, relax. Let's just go home. I'm sure he owns this car and just wants to go home too. No way. We will wait until the police gets here to arrest this thief. I'm sorry. It's alright. It's not your fault. Let's just wait until the police arrives so your mom sees that I own this car. Fast forward a couple of minutes, a police car arrives in the parking lot. 2 policemen leave the car, look around a little and walk towards the 3 of us. Hello. Did any of you report a car theft? Yes, I did. It's this boy right here. Arrest him, officer. Lady, I already told you. I own this car. Why do you think that he stole this car? He's way too young to even be allowed to drive a car. He can't own a car like this. I'm sorry, sir, but can you show me your license and your car documents? Sure, wait a minute, I'll get them. I proceed to walk around the car to get my car documents out of the glove box. M grabs me, shouting, "Officer, do something." He is clearly trying to run away. Ma'am, let him go. He is getting the documents I asked for. No, he isn't. He is clearly trying to avoid charges for car theft. Let him go, ma'am. EM lets go of me. I walk to the other side of my car, open the glove box, and hand the documents over to FC. I take out my wallet and hand over my license too. FC checks them and says everything is alright here. Why did you call us? No, the car is stolen. My son is older than him and can't afford a car, so this car is stolen. Look, it's right here in these documents. The car belongs to my name. That name is also on his driver's license, so this car belongs to the young man. I don't care. The documents and the license are fake. Just do your job and arrest him, officer. Look, man, I will ask my partner to run his license plate through the database, if that calms you, okay? Yes, do it. You will see, this car is stolen. The other cop walks over to the car and looks up my license plate. A couple of minutes later he comes over and says I looked up the license plate. The car is registered on my name, so it's his car. No, he stole this car. She walks over to me, trying to take my car key. What are you doing? What the hell is wrong with you, lady? It's not your goddamn car, give the key to me. I will find the real owner and give him his car back. Ma'am, please stop this or we have to arrest you. You don't have to arrest me. I didn't steal this car. Why don't you do your goddamn job instead of being freaking useless, officer? Arrest this boy. Ma'am, I have to ask you to calm down. Step away from my name or we'll have to arrest you. Come on, mom. It's his car, he said it, the cop said it. Calm down and let's go home. Please, mom. EM stops trying to steal my key and looks at her son. Alright, honey. If you want to leave now, we leave. While walking towards her car she shouts at me, I will get that car back to its owner, you little prick. I swear to God I will. EM and ES then proceed to enter their car and drive away. FC hands over my license and car documents. Sorry to bother you. Do you want to press charges against EM? No, it's alright. I'm sorry you had to come out here to take care of this crappy situation. That's okay. This isn't even anywhere near the worst situation I experienced this week. Have a nice day. Thanks, you too. Thanks. The cops get back to their car, enter it and leave. I finally get into my car too and leave the parking lot to drive home. Now I'm sitting here, eating a cold chili cheeseburger and writing down this story. Knowing that EM's son works at this Burger King, I guess I'll never go there again. I don't want to spend half another afternoon arguing with EM and waiting for the cops. I think her son should stop working for Burger King and get a job as a hostage negotiator. He's got the skills talking down to crazy. And then he could afford a nice car of his own. Well guys, that's it for today. If you end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing, and if you missed the last episode on the channel, I'm gonna link it right here. The story is about a woman who tried to kick OP out of his own backyard and eventually called the police. Check this out if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video.